Deskundige Simon Sinek.
Mr. Sinek, thanks for joining us. You are a big ambassador on placing the why question at the core of our business, at the core of our leadership. What is so fundamental about that question for you?
So what I learned was that every single organization on the planet, even our own careers, always function on the same three levels. What we do, how we do it, and why we do it. Everybody knows what they do. These are the products we sell, the jobs we do, the services we offer. Some know how they do it, whether you call it your differentiating value proposition. It's the things that we think make us different or special, stand out from the crowd. But very few people can clearly articulate why they do what they do. That purpose, cause, or belief that makes us wake up in the morning and go to work. It's the thing that inspires us. It's the reason why we do anything. And the question is, what is that?
I would say for businesses, that's probably the question they will formulate last. I know
unfortunately
what I do, I know how to do it.
Exactly.
Let's get the show on a roll. Let's make those products.
Or they'll define the why based on some result. So our why is to make money. No, money is a result. It comes at the end of something. The question is, what comes at the beginning? What is the reason you pick this over something else? What is the reason we should work here and not somewhere else? Why should I feel like I belong? Why should I contribute? And the amazing thing is, this is not my opinion. It's based on the biology of human decision-making. And this is what I find so fascinating about it, which is if you truly understand how the brain works and how the brain makes decisions, you have to understand why you do what you do, because it is what inspires and drives every single one of us.
Let's make this a bit more concrete. Which company or which leader asks that why question and answers it to employees or to customers? Who does that correctly?
So it's all the leaders and companies that we find inspiring.
Do you have an example?
Well, it's the ones we all love. I mean, in the global companies, it's companies like Apple, it's like Virgin, and I'm sure there's local ones in every nation as well.
So what does Apple do that triggers us to buy their products?
So what Apple makes is not unique to Apple. Anybody can make their products. There's plenty of smart people, there's plenty of money available, right? In fact, people change companies all the time, so sometimes it's the same people. They're all qualified to make the products that Apple makes. The difference is that Apple is crystal clear on why they do what they do. They don't define themselves by what they do. So I'll give you the example I often give. If Apple were like everyone else, a piece of communication would sound like this. We make great computers. That's what they do. They're beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. Want to buy one? That's normal. Here's our new car. It's got great gas mileage, and it's got tinted windows and leather seats. Here's our law firm. We have all the best lawyers, and we went to all the best schools, and we win all of our cases. It's the same.
Sounds like most marketing.
This is normal. But here's what Apple actually does. They start with why. Everything we do, they say, we believe in challenging the status quo. We believe in thinking differently. The way we challenge the status quo is by making our products beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. We just happen to make great computers. Want to buy one?
Yeah,
and what starts to show us that it's not what you do that matters, it's why you do it. And people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it.
Okay, so it works for Apple, but could you say this works for every company, in every industry, and every leader?
Absolutely. This is based on the biology of human decision-making. This is not a business theory. This is how human beings work. And so it's not a question of whether you want to or don't want to. It's not a question of it's B2B or B2C. At the end of the day, business is a human enterprise. A human being will make decisions about whether we should or shouldn't do something.
Okay, but we have human beings working in the tobacco industry, selling cigarettes to people. We have humans running a bank. What is their why then in those cases?
So I can't speak to what their why is, and even a bank can have a noble purpose and a noble cause and simply uses the industry of banking to help advance something greater than themselves. If they want to give people a sense of independence, and we happen to use a bank to do that, maybe our cause is we believe everyone deserves to feel independent. And so we set up our banking practices, we offer the kinds of loans and the kind of interest rates and the kind of products and the kind of service that would give people that sense of feeling. But most banks don't have that kind of sense of purpose. And if they articulate it in marketing, it's not something they believe, it's just some marketing nonsense throwaway. True sense of purpose is what brings and galvanizes the employees to come together and say, let's solve this problem. Let's find a different way of doing than the industry standard, not because it's necessarily more profitable, because it's the right thing to do, and it advances what we believe. The irony is, over the long term, it is actually better for business. And organizations that start with why, over the long term, almost always outperform all their competition.
Do you dare to say that companies that do not ask that why question in the first place will eventually not make it?
If you look at the makeup of the stock market, and the top performing companies tend to be 35 years or younger, then empirically that would be true. But if you don't ask why, longevity is much more difficult. Almost all companies start off with a why. It was the thing that inspired the founders to take these huge risks to do something that they didn't have to do. They were compelled by something. Almost always they found some solution to a very real problem that they or someone they loved suffered. Very few great companies are born because somebody read an article in a magazine and thought, I could make millions with this, you know? They're born out of real life experiences.
Okay, so what if I started off with my startup with a very good why, but over time the company started to grow, I started to get more employees, and that vision started to fade a bit?
Yeah, it happens. Unfortunately, it's unbelievably common. Sometimes the greatest challenge a company can face is their own success. Because when a company is small, it's the founder or a group of founders, those early people who make all the decisions. But eventually, they have to hire somebody who hires somebody who hires somebody who hires somebody, has to make a decision based on what. And so you're absolutely right. And what starts to happen is what they do and why they do it start to come apart. I call it the split. And the whole goal then is for good leadership to come back, for people to go back to basics, to be reminded of where we come from, why we started on this journey in this first place. You see it very, very often where leaders, as the company gets more successful, forget the cause and start to become obsessed with the results more than they ever used to be. They become obsessed with their competition. They start making decisions based on market research and focus groups. They never used to use focus groups to make decisions. They used to make decisions based on what they knew was the right thing to do to advance their cause, based on their gut.
But we still need to be realistic. A company can only survive when they make money. So that is an essential part of it.
I have no problem with money. I have no problem with money. At the end of the day, it's understanding the role of money, however. Is money the purpose, or is money the fuel? Right? Do you buy a car just so you can have lots of petrol? No, you buy petrol to make the car go. The reason is the car, right? Money is the fuel that goes into the company. Of course we have to make money, because if we don't make money, then how do we keep our cause alive? Of course you need resources.
In a way, it sounds like you're only talking about leaders like a Richard Branson or an Elon Musk. What about my boss that probably his why is to pay off his mortgage or to take center stage every now and then? Can that be his why?
No, because that is selfishly driven, right? And we are not loyal to selfishly driven people. Right?
So he won't be able to motivate me.
So he can motivate you, but he'll probably have to motivate you with money. He'll probably have to motivate you with your own sense of fame or whatever the things he uses for himself.
And what happens
and that's
then
not
down
loyalty.
the line?
That's not loyalty. Those are transactions. And so the only way he can get you to work harder is to keep paying you more. You won't necessarily enjoy your work more. And at some point you'll say to yourself, this isn't worth the money. Or if somebody offers you more money, you'll take it, because that's the standard that was set. Great leaders offer us something to belong to. They offer us something to contribute to. They take care of our growth. They're concerned with helping us develop as human beings. And in those organizations, when somebody offers us more money, we turn it down, because it was never about the money. It was about the feeling.
In that sense, what do you say is the fundamental thing for a leader to understand?
That leadership is human. That you can't lead a company. You can run a company. You can manage a company. Those are legal structures. But you can only lead people. I'm tired when people say to me, it's nothing personal, it's just business. Right? People can disagree with me. They can think I'm naive. They can disagree with my theories and my ideas. But there's one thing that they cannot disagree with. 100% of employees are people. And 100% of customers are people. Business is the most human thing in the world. It is the most personal thing in the world. It is human beings interacting with other human beings. And when we feel safe inside our own companies, when we feel the psychological safety that our leaders actually care about us as human beings, sometimes even before the numbers, we will reward them with our blood and sweat and tears. If we believe they're just trying to use us to advance their own gains, then we will just work for the money and demand more and leave if somebody gives us a better job. And we won't enjoy ourselves, and we certainly won't go the extra mile.
What is your personal why?
So my why is to inspire people to do what inspires them. So together we can change our world. And I have a very clear vision of the world that I want to live in. I imagine a world in which the vast majority of people wake up every single morning inspired to go to work, feel safe when they're there, and come home fulfilled at the end of the day. And I've committed all of my work, everything I do, to try and help build that world.
All right, good luck with that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.